It's one of those questions that feels both obvious and a little profound. You look at a house cat purring on a sofa, then you see a nature documentary about a lion on the Serengeti, and you wonder, how deep does that connection really go? The short answer is, it goes all the way down. They are absolutely related. A lion, a tiger, and your tabby are all members of the same biological family, Felidae. To understand how, you have to go back in time, quite a long way back. All modern cats, big and small, share a common ancestor that lived somewhere around 25 to 30 million years ago. Paleontologists have found fossils of a group of animals called Proilurus and later Pseudilurus, which are considered to be the last common ancestors of all living cats. These were likely small, tree-climbing predators, probably not much larger than a modern ocelot, living in the forests of Eurasia. From this single ancestral root, the cat family tree began to branch out, spreading across the globe and diversifying into the incredible range of species we see today. The first major split in that family tree happened about 10 to 15 million years ago. This is where the family Felidae divided into its two main subfamilies, and this division explains one of the most fundamental differences between big cats and small cats. The subfamilies are Pantherini, which includes the classic big cats, and Feline, which includes pretty much everything else, from cougars to our domestic house cats. The defining characteristic of the Pantherini subfamily is the ability to roar. This group includes lions, tigers, leopards, and jaguars. Their ability to produce that deep, resonant roar comes down to a specific piece of anatomy, the hyoid bone. This is a small bone in the throat that supports the tongue and larynx. In the roaring cats, the hyoid is not fully ossified, meaning it's not completely hardened into bone. It has a flexible ligamentous section. This flexibility allows the larynx to move more, which in turn lets them create that iconic, powerful sound. Interestingly, the snow leopard is genetically part of this roaring cat group, but its vocal cords are less developed, so it can't produce a true roar. It makes more of a high-pitched chuffing sound. Now, on the other side of that split, you have the feline subfamily. This group includes the cheetah, the cougar, the lynx, the ocelot, and of course, the lineage that leads to our domestic cat. Their defining characteristic is the opposite of the big cats. They can purr. Their ability to purr is also due to the hyoid bone, but in their case, it's a completely rigid, ossified structure. This solid bone allows their larynx to vibrate continuously as they breathe in and out, creating the purring sound we all know. And here's the fascinating trade-off. Because of this anatomy, they can't roar. So a roaring cat can't purr, and a purring cat can't roar. This leads to some surprising classifications. A cougar, for example, is the fourth largest cat species in the world, often larger than a leopard. But because it has a rigid hyoid bone and can purr, it's technically not a big cat in the biological sense. It's the world's largest purring cat, more closely related to a house cat than to a lion. So let's follow the branch of that purring feline subfamily down to our specific house cat. Within that group, we find the genus Felis, and modern genetic studies have pinpointed the direct ancestor of every single domestic cat on the planet, a subspecies of wildcat called Felis libica, or the African wildcat. It still exists today and looks remarkably like a slightly larger, leggier version of a common tabby cat. The story of their domestication is also really interesting because it seems cats domesticated themselves. It wasn't like with dogs, where humans actively selected for traits and bred them for specific tasks. Instead, it was a long, slow process of cohabitation that began around 10,000 years ago in the Fertile Crescent. This is when humans were shifting from a nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle to an agricultural one. We started building permanent settlements, and crucially, we started storing grain. These grain stores were a massive buffet for rodents, and where you have a lot of rodents, you inevitably attract predators. The African wildcats in the area saw these human settlements not as a threat, but as an all-you-can-eat pest control opportunity. The cats that were naturally a bit more tolerant of human presence, a bit less fearful, were the ones that got to hang around the grain stores and feast on mice and rats. Over generations, this created a selective pressure. The boldest, most adaptable wildcats thrived in this new human-made ecosystem. Humans, in turn, recognized the benefit of having these pest controllers around. It was a mutually beneficial arrangement. The cats got a steady food supply, and the humans got their grain protected. It was less an act of taming and more an alliance of convenience that slowly evolved over thousands of years into the relationship we have today. Genetically, the link is astonishingly close. A 2007 study analyzed DNA from nearly 1,000 cats, both wild and domestic, from all over the world. It confirmed that they all trace their ancestry back to that single group of African wildcats in the Near East. And when you compare the genome of a domestic cat to a tiger, you find they share about 95.6% of their DNA. That shared DNA is why you see big cat behaviors in your little house cat every single day. The underlying software is largely the same. When your cat stalks a feather toy, crouches low, wiggles its hindquarters, and then pounces, it is running the exact same predatory software that a leopard uses to hunt an antelope. The physiology is there too. The retractable claws for keeping them sharp, the powerful jaw with carnassial teeth designed for shearing meat, the incredible night vision, and the sensitive hearing are all part of that shared Felidae heritage. Even their grooming habits are a direct link. That rough, sandpapery tongue is covered in tiny, backward-facing spines called papillae. They're great for grooming and pulling loose fur out, but in the wild, they're also used to scrape every last bit of meat off a bone. The differences, that small 4.4% of DNA, are of course what make a cat and a tiger a tiger. The most obvious difference is size, which is controlled by a relatively small number of growth-regulating genes. But the more subtle and important changes are in the genes related to behavior. Scientists have found significant differences in genes associated with memory, fear conditioning, and stimulus-reward behaviors. These are the genetic tweaks that took the solitary, fiercely independent African wildcat and produced an animal that can tolerate and even solicit affection from a completely different species and live in high-density social groups with other cats, something its wild ancestors would never do. This deep family connection makes the whole world of cats even more fascinating. It reframes what we think of as a big cat. The cheetah, for example, is a large and iconic cat, but it sits on its own unique branch of the Felidae subfamily. It can purr, not roar, and its claws aren't fully retractable, a unique adaptation among cats that gives it extra traction like a sprinter's cleats. The cougar, as we mentioned, is a giant among the purring cats. And then you have dozens of smaller, lesser-known wild cats around the world. The fishing cat, the sand cat, the Pallas's cat, all of them members of the Felidae subfamily, all cousins to our domestic cats, each one a unique adaptation of the same basic feline blueprint. So, when you see your cat chasing a laser pointer dot with obsessive focus or chattering at a bird outside the window, you're not just seeing a cute pet, you're watching millions of years of predatory evolution in action. You're seeing the ghost of the tiger, the echo of the lion, all packaged into a small, purring companion. The family resemblance is more than skin deep, it's written into their very DNA. a constant whisper of their wild and majestic family tree.